The topic this morning is courage. Courage. And our journey is really looking at all the different characters in the story of the Wizard of Oz and seeing the great life lessons that they teach us, realizing that this much-loved children's story is also a hero story for every single one of us, that there are symbolic messages and archetypical messages in this story of the Wizard of Oz. And so we want to look today at the idea of the courage to be. And it's easy to think that courage is just represented by which character? The lion, right? And certainly it is, and we'll be talking about that. But all of the characters in the Wizard of Oz really needed to demonstrate courage. So courage is a very important and very real quality, actually, for each and every one of us in living just our lives. As I was looking back over some of the quotes that I was reading at first service early this morning, I was reminded of a quote from Dr. Maya Angelou, in which Maya Angelou said that courage is the most important of all the virtues. She felt that it was the most important of all of the virtues because without courage, you can't practice any of the virtues consistently. In order to consistently practice acceptance or loving kindness or non-judgment, in order to consistently practice that, it takes courage to do so. Because there are times that it is much more challenging, much more risky to practice those things. And so here's why she says to us, of all the virtues, courage is the most important. What happens in your life when you finally really face something that you have made so big and so scary? Doesn't it usually begin to shrink somewhat? Haven't you found in your own life that you've made your problems bigger than they really are when you actually finally take a step toward meeting them? Hasn't it also been true for you that the things that you have been afraid of, that you've made them that much bigger in your own mind by the things you've imagined or the things you've told yourself than what they really turn out to be when you actually step forward to meet them? So there are a few reminders that I want to share with you this morning to help you and to help myself continue to expand our capacity of courage, because I believe that each of us is more courageous than we actually realize. And the first reminder is this, that for most of us, courage, much like compassion actually, for most of us, courage is revealed to us in times of greatest adversity. When we really find ourselves in a tough place in our lives, whether it's emotionally, relationally, health-wise, when we find ourselves in a really tough place in our lives, that is the place in which we somehow tap into and discover unrealized potential and courage that was always there. But we never had to show up in that way before because the situation hadn't demanded it of us. So when we find ourselves in those kinds of situations, one of the ways that we can deal with it is to simply remember, here is my opportunity. Here is where I get to find a greater strength, a greater resilience, a greater fearlessness within me that I've never had to call to the fore before.
Thanks for listening. The Unity Center, transforming lives and healing our world. Check us out Sundays at 9 and 11. Subscribe to our podcasts and download our free app for instant access to a wealth of spiritual teachings, services, and events.